FoodPolicyUS is pleased to present this educational series highlighting issues and debates in our food system. Join us each week as we hear from leaders and innovators around the table.
I think the Bible is a source for thinking ethically and culturally and religiously about these issues. I think it's a very powerful source. I think it's a powerful source both because of the way in which the Bible has shaped the religious traditions that are dominant in our culture and our culture itself, but also because the Bible's perspective itself, when we go back to it, is also powerful and maybe a bit stranger than we might have first suspected. And I think it provides a way for us to think about what our mindfulness should be relating to food, relating to our food policy, and relating to our food politics. We can see right away in the first chapters of Genesis the relationship of human beings to food and human beings to the earth. The earth is created in part to provide sustenance for human beings. When we move on to Genesis 3, we see the relationship between nature and the human being becomes more complicated, more fraught. The penalty or the curse for Adam and his wife's sin of eating the forbidden fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil is to be kicked out of the garden, but it's also a curse upon the earth. The earth is no longer gives so immediately and easily to human beings for consumption, but must be tilled and worked. There's also the issue of, or the anxiety about the scarcity of food due to drought and due to famine. And many of the narratives of the plot of the book of Genesis are driven by the lack of food, about famine or the threat of famine. So we could look at the entire story of Joseph and his brothers. Joseph is sold into slavery by his brothers, but he's able to become essentially a governor because of his ability to interpret prophetic dreams about a coming famine. And in a sense, Joseph becomes the first recorded food czar in the Bible in his ability to store food during the years of plenty in preparation for the years of famine. And it is during those years of famine that Jacob sends Joseph's brothers down to Egypt to collect food for the family, not knowing, of course, that it's their brother Joseph who is the one who's created Egypt as this great reservoir of food. So we see how the very real, tangible issue of famine, of scarcity, shapes many of the plots of the Bible.